What is going on, guys? Today we have got my first weekend league highlights. So this is the team that I'm rocking. Personally, I had changed the right wing from Sterling to Salah to Mahrez. I tried out a couple of players in that aspect, and also I think Fernandinho was Wijnaldum to start with. Apart from that, this team has pretty much stayed the same throughout the entire of the weekend league, and I did make a very lack of judgment on actually who everyone's going to have, basically, what sort of squad. The one thing I do like is the Foot Champs starting logo and the scenes where you move, obviously for a replay. That is fresh as anything. It is an incredible little bit of, just a little bit of graphics in FIFA, and I really do like that. So what I'm going to be doing is using these videos every week, hopefully every week, to basically show you every single goal, bar from 4 goals that I accidentally missed to record in this week's Foot Champs. Basically, just to go over what I think, personally, over the first few weeks, it will mainly be developing gameplay, and that replay, that was awesome. That is such a nice graphic. But yeah, we're going to kind of go through gameplay, find what I thought and where I finish, and basically the players who I used, and how well I think they actually performed. So to start off, I had an abysmal weekend league to start with. I started off poorly, I ended poorly. In the middle, I started to pick some form up. I finished with only 11 wins with 2 games remaining, obviously not able to get into that gold-free position, and it's the lowest position I've ever finished in Foot Champs. Personally, I don't think I was ready. I felt like I didn't play enough preparation games prior to actually going into this Foot Champs. There is obviously huge amounts of excuses that I could make for this. There is endless. I could say the gameplay was rubbish, they were cheated, they were sweaty, they were all of this. And personally, I think it's down to a couple of factors. One, I weren't good enough throughout the entire of it, and I think I got frustrated like hell during the whole of it, and that led to my downfall personally. I think there is some problems with the gameplay, mainly rebounds still. That was one of the things that they kind of addressed in the pitch notes. Personally, I still got that. Granted, I got it both sides as well, but I felt like it was a real big factor in a turning point for games. There was games that I was winning until the 80th minute. They would then score and go on to penalties, and personally, again, I haven't learned the basics of penalties yet. I've used it a little bit. I think I won 2 penalty shootouts out of the 5 that I went into throughout the whole games. So for me, I think that was a huge factor, and that's basically the basics of the game. So I think that's something that I'll be working on for next week and going into that one. Personally, I think as well, it was just the look of the draw. I think I did come up against some very nice teams. Eusebios, Mbappe's, Neymar's, Ronaldo's, Messi's. Some really top-end teams already in Foot Champs. And that's something that I didn't anticipate. I really thought there'd be a lot more of the lower starting teams. And basically being able to kind of go in with this, not a starter team, but more of a budget squad. I could have sold absolutely everyone in my club and picked up someone like Messi or someone like Ronaldo to go ahead into this, but I thought I'd keep it clean, I'd keep it going and see what Werner, Gnabry, all of them were like, and to be honest, I enjoyed it for the most of it. I felt like the gameplay is quite nice. It does seem a little bit slow in the middle, and the passing does kind of weight that down a little bit. When it comes to going down the wings, obviously that's really nice, and I think I'm starting to get the element of it now. I did go on to winning 5 back-to-backs towards the end of my Foot Champs weekend, so that's something that I can always take as a positive, and potentially that them kind of the warm-up games that I had at the start of Foot Champs really progressed me for the end, and hopefully that's something I could take into next weekend as well. Apart from that, I felt like it was a successful weekend league. I managed to get through it with very little injuries. I didn't break a controller, which is always a nice thing. Even though it is, you forget how stressful weekend league actually is. And a lot of people will say, it's just a game, don't worry about it. But every single game counts, and that is the horrible factor of weekend league. That one goal that they score could mean that you don't get gold 1, elite 3, top 100, silver 1. You don't realise that until you played it, and it really drains on you. And I found that was one of the things that really didn't help with this week. Every single game counts. And look at that. I was 3-0 down, and then Werner decides to score a goal like that. And some of the goals that I scored were absolutely really nice. Some of them sweaty as hell as I score this little cross goal. And penalties as well. I did have a little bit of an inkling with some of them. As you can see here, this is the first penalty shootout that I did win. And that's a banging penalty from him. And it took a bit of getting used to. I don't know why they've made it so difficult. It's like riding an aircraft, trying to figure out how to get the altitude right, how to get the speed and land the vehicle at the same time. I don't know with it. I think they've made it incredibly difficult this year for free kicks and penalties. So I don't know if that's their objective, to try and make it that little bit more difficult so that you struggle even more. Personally, we'll get used to it. We always do. I think once you've done a few of them, you do get kind of used to it. I think the main thing with penalties especially is the head movement. Because obviously you've got to try and move it and keep it in the zone as well. That's going to make it incredibly difficult to make sure that they don't know where you're going. And if you don't know what I'm on about, basically when a penalty is being taken, if he's aiming to the left, you'll find that the head will be more directed there. If he's carried on straight forward, that means he's aiming straight at your keeper. And at the minute, I'm finding probably 7 out of 10 times they're going down the middle. And that's just because they don't understand it yet. And that's something that you take advantage of to start with. But then it can always cause you doubt that maybe they do know how to do it and that's their plan all along. So for me, I think penalties at the minute is going to take a little bit of getting used to. Personally, I haven't scored a free kick as of yet. But I've been getting closer and closer as I've learned how to actually do them. Again, you've got multiple buttons to press at the same time. And again, as you see, a classic rebound goal from there. Hopefully they do address some of these issues as well, because I think that will add to the experience. Mainly just probably the passing pace. I found the pace in the middle, like I said earlier, very, very slow. And I don't know if I'm alone with that, but I've been seeing a few people commenting on how slow the gameplay does feel in that middle role. Personally, a bit of dribbling does wonders there, and obviously passing and move. I've been watching some pros, watching some YouTubers as well, just because that's how you kind of get better. I think that's something that I've learned throughout the years. Watching other people, especially better people, and also watching your own gameplay back. And that's something that I wanted to try with this, is being able to actually watch myself and see where am I going wrong, where am I going right. And that's something that I'm really taking into this weekend league and into this FIFA in general. Last year I kind of started it towards the end, but then really starting to go ahead of it now and really see where my faults are. And I think mainly the basics are the way for me. We're learning the metas. That's something that we're starting to do. The dribbling, mainly the is it the L button or the trigger, where it basically shadow defending, where you're kind of blocking them off. That seems to be very OP, and then just passing and move seems to do really well. Everyone's kind of caught on to the fact that the wings are incredibly meta this year, so they're pretty much already gone, and Werner has been an absolute sensational striker for me. He has scored so many goals this weekend league, and you'll see he scores hat-tricks, he scores 4 or 5 goals. I was really, really happy with his performance, because I did sideline Rashford for him, just because I packed Werner, and Rashford was going for that little bit more. But in the next weekend league, I'm possibly looking to upgrade to Lacazette, depending on obviously how much I get and what I do get in FUT Champs and Rival Rewards as well this week. So you never know. We will see what informs we get this week. Hopefully there is some really, really nice ones. But unfortunately, I am maxed out at an 80 something. I don't know what I'm maxed out at, being only a Silver 1, which is unfortunate, but it means that I'm definitely going to go ahead and go real hard in the next one and really try and get that dub and get at least gold free. I was expected to gold free it, but it just came towards the end and I lost too many matches at the start that really put me under the pressure. And to be honest, I had 3 games left. I already won 2 to get into Silver 1 and I couldn't see it happening, and I came up against a team that was impossible to beat. 4-0 within the first 45 minutes, and I thought, you know what, that's my FUT Champs ended this week, unfortunately. Some other names to put in there. Neuer had a really good FUT Champs weekend. Basic mistakes from myself that caused goals mainly. I felt like he definitely saved me in a lot of the goals. And personally, I think then the standout people, Inform Havertz was very nice. I felt like he was decent enough. I don't think he was quite amazing for 200k, but he definitely did the job in the middle, and I probably will sell him off eventually, but I'll probably wait for a little bit more profit as well. Salah personally was a bit underwhelming. I didn't find him actually that good in my team. Personally, I don't know if it's the links and how I've actually played him. Mainly we'll try him again when I do pick him up myself. Coman was fantastic, as well as obviously Promes and Osman Dembele. Dembele was a sensational right/left wing when I brought him on, and I feel like he will be getting a very good call up to my starting team, as during the FUT Champs I did manage to go ahead and pack an untradeable Sergio Ramos, so he'll be coming in, possibly with Umtiti for the next one and Courtois in net. That's still to be decided, obviously, going forward, but that's something that I definitely want to do going forward, so that's always a nice team to go ahead with. But then obviously it comes to the understanding that mainly my team is Bundesliga BPL, so I'll have to figure out what side I actually put as BPL, what side I do La Liga or something like that. So we're going to got a bit of work to head for the next FUT Champs. I'm going to be developing my skills, kind of just going with them basics and really working on them. So the question for you, obviously, as we're going through the goals, is how did you do? What did you think you could do better? Is there any metas that you've got advice for me? Personally, it is a hard work weekend. Silver 1 is not good enough for me, and I was actually really upset with it. I felt like I really let myself down with it, and I don't know. It sounds silly, but it really annoyed me that I only got to that. And I'm not saying I expect to be better, but it really drilled down that I really need to get this gameplay down. It's very different to FIFA 19, and some people have picked it up really well, and some people, like myself, have really struggled to get into this game again. Mainly it might be the team. I might have a team that's just not equipped yet, so we will be working on that going forward, and hopefully bringing in some really big names to get ourselves up to that gold standard again, and then hopefully as the weeks go on we push for that elite finish. I think I only got a couple of elite finishes last year, so that's something that I'm really pushing for this year, and then hopefully maybe FIFA 21. I don't know if FIFA 20 is going to be the one, just because I feel like my team is still so far behind, but I really want to get one of them top 100 finishes. That will take a lot of sweating and a lot of grinding towards, but I'm definitely going to put the effort in and hopefully bring you that dub, and we can definitely enjoy it together, to be honest. The rewards I'm quite enjoying. I really like them. I'm going to try and get the rewards out as soon as possible on Thursday, but obviously I work till 2:30, so I will be getting them out after I've finished. So hopefully we'll get someone decent. More than likely it's going to be by the packs, because obviously the singular red card that I'm going to get this week is going to be a capped rating. I've personally not looked. Normally it's like an 82 or an 84. I don't think it quite goes up to an 86, but I will check and see how much that actually is when we've finished and got to that team in a week stage, and I can really depress myself at seeing possibly Ronaldo or Messi in the team in a week, and I'm personally not going to be able to get him. Not that it does mean that I was going to get him anyway, but we will see. So we are coming up to the final few games, or the final few goals now. Incredible team, really nice team. I love Werner. I think he's definitely worth the value. He will have a review out either later on today or tomorrow. I will be pushing them back. We're going to be focusing on content right now, and we're really going to push it. So, and again, I love that design. That first FUT Champs is like the starting window, or starting graphics in FUT Champs. Really rate that from EA. I think that's such a fresh graphic, just in general, something nice, something new and nice, basically. So we will be bringing week 2, hopefully Monday next week, and hopefully I'll have better news for you, and I won't let you down once again. So hopefully you enjoyed. Like I said, any advice or anything you'd like to know as well, let me know down below. And apart from that, hopefully you do subscribe for more content. We will be getting better, I promise you that. Make sure you do subscribe down below with a like button as well if you did enjoy this video, and I'll see you all for the next one. Peace.